The Coalition's fleet stood in awe. Before them, a single Terran cruiser floated amidst the wreckage of an alien armada. They hadn't expected such destruction. Not this fast, not like this. The Terrans had joined the Coalition with rumors surrounding them-hushed whispers of humans as fierce, adaptable, and far too bold. But this was beyond any expectation. The Galathians had been one of the most feared species in the galaxy, known for their unbreakable armadas. The Coalition had feared their endless expansion. They subjugated planet after planet, each conquest as easy as the last, and even the bravest Coalition fleets had only been able to fend off minor incursions. When humanity joined the Coalition, it was out of desperation on both sides. The Coalition was losing territory, and Earth had just discovered faster-than-light travel. Humanity was a backwater species, untested and under-equipped by galactic standards, but they had something most others didn't: resilience and ingenuity. The Terran fleet's leader, Commander Ayla Marquez, had listened to the advice and strategies from other Coalition commanders. They warned her about the Galathians' superior technology, their impenetrable shields, and how they decimated every enemy before them. But Marquez saw things differently. Where others saw impossibility, she saw an opportunity. Rather than following the standard tactical approaches used by other Coalition species, Marquez relied on human creativity. She ordered her team to rig a series of decoy ships with experimental stealth technology and sent them in first. The Galathians, sensing prey, pounced without hesitation. Once they were clustered around the decoys, Marquez unleashed her cruiser's weaponry, aiming at vulnerable systems her engineers had meticulously mapped out. It was risky, but the payoff was undeniable. In a matter of minutes, the Galathians' prized ships were reduced to drifting wrecks. The few survivors from the Coalition fleet, who had watched from a distance, scrambled to comprehend what they had witnessed. The Terran cruiser emerged from the debris field without a scratch. It was unheard of, as if the humans had simply waltzed in and won without breaking a sweat. Inside the command room, Ayla received the incoming hail from the Coalition admirals. They praised her, their voices etched with disbelief, their stiff words unable to hide the awe that colored them. This victory would shift the balance in the galaxy's favor. When asked how she managed to defeat one of the deadliest fleets in the universe with minimal resources, Ayla simply shrugged and replied, "Just a little Terran ingenuity. We call it thinking outside the box." In that moment, she became a legend, and humanity became known as the wild card of the Coalition, a force capable of turning the tide in a way no one else could. From that day forward, stories of humanity's effortless triumph spread across the stars, inspiring allies and unsettling foes. They may have been newcomers, but humans were here to stay, bringing with them the kind of courage and cunning that turned legends into history. Word of Commander A. Marquez's victory over the Galathians spread like wildfire across the Coalition. Rumors grew with each retelling. Some said she had single-handedly torn the Galathian armada apart with her bare hands. Others whispered that humans possessed strange, mystical powers. The truth was far simpler, but for those who had never encountered humanity, the stories only fueled their intrigue. The Coalition's high command decided to leverage this newfound fame. They knew the Galathians would strike again, harder this time. If the Terrans could defeat them twice, it would send a powerful message to all who opposed the Coalition. Ayla, now a symbol of human ingenuity and grit, was given command of a larger fleet and ordered to prepare for a decisive showdown. But as Ayla reviewed the intelligence on the Galathians' reassembled forces, she felt a chill. They'd fortified their defenses, integrated new technology, and deployed an unprecedented number of ships. The armada looked impenetrable. If they were to win, they'd need a new strategy, something the Galathians could never anticipate. In typical human fashion, Ayla took a risky approach. She and her crew brainstormed relentlessly, thinking through every possible scenario until an idea emerged. They would use a gravitational anomaly nearby, a chaotic zone of fluctuating energy fields and unpredictable space-time distortions that most ships avoided at all costs. This area, known as the Shattered Veil, was infamous for disabling shields and scrambling navigational systems. Ayla knew it was a gamble. Even her own fleet could be torn apart by the veil, but she also knew that the Galathians were too proud, too assured of their superior firepower to avoid a direct challenge. And so, the message was sent. Commander Ayla Marquez was waiting for them in the Shattered Vale. As expected, the Galathian fleet responded. They poured into the Vale with full force, ignoring the warnings from their own sensors. Their ships lumbered forward, their shields flickering under the strain of the unstable region, unaware of the trap they were walking into. Ayla's fleet struck with precision. Her ships flanked the Galathians, darting through gravitational eddies and hiding within the chaos. They moved unpredictably, exploiting every shift in the Vale's gravitational field. The Galathians' vaunted defenses faltered. Their technology, which relied on stable energy flows, couldn't keep up with the erratic conditions of the Vale. The Terran ships, smaller and faster, picked them off one by one, slipping away into the cover of space-time distortions. From the outside, it looked like a dance of ghostly ships blinking in and out of existence, while the Galathian fleet disintegrated. By the time the Galathians tried to retreat, their forces were broken. Only a handful of their ships managed to escape, fleeing back to their home territory. Ayla's fleet, though battered and weary, emerged victorious. They had faced impossible odds and turned them into another effortless triumph. In the aftermath, the Coalition's allies hailed humanity as their salvation. The Galathians, for the first time in recorded history, withdrew their forces from Coalition space, too humiliated and fearful to continue the fight. As for Commander Ayla Marquez, her name became legend. Her unorthodox strategies and relentless bravery symbolized everything the Coalition needed in its fight for survival. Humanity had proven, once again, that they were not just warriors, they were strategists, explorers, and above all, survivors. And as they drifted back into friendly space, the Terrans looked out over the stars, wondering what new challenge awaited them next. Whatever it was, they knew they would be ready. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. Months passed since the Terrans' decisive victory in the Shattered Vale, and the galaxy was a different place. News of humanity's daring triumph spread through the Coalition and beyond, drawing admiration from allies and fear from enemies. But as the Coalition celebrated, new intelligence surfaced. The Galathians were far from defeated. They had forged an alliance with the Vorderan, a reclusive, highly intelligent insectoid species known for their precision, weaponry, and ruthless efficiency. The Coalition trembled at the news. The Galathians alone had been dangerous enough, but with the Vorderan on their side, they now boasted fleets that were faster, stronger, and equipped with technology no one had seen before. Facing this united threat seemed like an impossible task. Once again, the Coalition turned to humanity, and specifically to Commander Ayla Marquez, who had become a living legend. Yet this time, even Ayla felt the weight of the task. The Galathian-Vorderan alliance was unlike anything the galaxy had faced. Their combined armadas stretched across multiple systems, prepared to crush the Coalition once and for all. But Ayla didn't just believe in her own people's strength. She believed in the power of unexpected connections. If the Galathians could forge alliances, why couldn't the Coalition? Her mind turned to a mysterious, ancient species called the Vayari, known for their advanced cloaking technology and extraordinary telepathic abilities. The Vayari were elusive. Few in the galaxy had even seen a Vayari ship, let alone met one of them in person. They'd kept themselves isolated for centuries, refusing to get involved in the galaxy's conflicts. Ayla took her crew and headed toward the last known coordinates of a Vayari outpost. Coalition command was skeptical, warning her not to waste time chasing legends, but Ayla trusted her instincts. If there was anyone who could counter the Vorderan's precision and the Galathians' brute strength, it was the Vayari. After days of scanning empty space and navigating the fringes of the galaxy, they finally found a Vayari scout ship. Ayla initiated contact, sending diplomatic messages in every language her ship's systems could manage. 4 hours. There was no response. Her crew grew restless, but Ayla waited, certain that the Vayari were observing, testing, measuring her intentions. Finally, a voice echoed through her, mind-soft, ancient, and surprisingly compassionate. It was a Vayari emissary. She could feel its presence in her thoughts, brushing through her memories, analyzing her resolve, her motives. When it spoke, its tone was gentle but firm. its questions probing her deepest intentions. "Why do you seek us, Terran?" the voice asked. "You have forged your victories alone, why ask for help now?" Ayla explained the threat of the Galathian-Vorderan alliance, emphasizing the coalition's desperate need for a counter to their formidable fleet. She didn't appeal to their fear or try to make lofty promises. She spoke from her heart, describing the chaos that would ensue if the Galathians and Vorderan succeeded. Her honesty and humility resonated with the Vaori. After a long silence, the Vaori emissary agreed. "We shall join you, but on one condition: the coalition must promise to safeguard the sanctity of our worlds and respect our ways." Ayla accepted without hesitation, knowing that this alliance was their best chance at victory. With the Vaori on their side, the coalition's forces gained cloaking abilities and telepathic communication across entire fleets. It changed the nature of their strategy. With Vaori cloaking, the coalition ships could infiltrate enemy lines and strike from nowhere, coordinating with a precision even the Vorderan could not match. The final battle took place in the uncharted depths of the galaxy, in a region known only as the Abyss, a place of twisting energy currents and gravitational anomalies. The Vaori guided the coalition forces through the treacherous terrain, using their cloaking and telepathic coordination to ambush the enemy. The Galathian-Vorderan alliance, blindsided by the coalition's newfound tactics, struggled to keep up. Their fleets, though powerful, couldn't withstand the unpredictable, invisible assault of the cloaked ships and telepathically connected fighters. Vorderan precision was no match for Vaori stealth. Galathian strength crumbled under Terran resilience and ingenuity. In a final, desperate move, the Vorderan attempted to retreat, but Ayla's fleet was ready. They blocked every escape route, dismantling the Alliance's armada piece by piece until the remains of the once great Galathian and Vorderan forces lay scattered and broken. The coalition, against all odds, had emerged victorious, and as Ayla stood on the bridge, watching the stars, she felt the presence of the Vaori emissary one last time. "You have proven yourselves, Terran," it said. "Our alliance shall remain, so long as you honor your word." With the Vaori as their newfound allies, the coalition grew stronger than ever, a beacon of unity and resilience, and humanity's legend grew, not just as fighters, but as peacemakers unifying forces across the galaxy in the spirit of survival, hope, and trust. Commander Ayla Marquez had shown the galaxy that humanity's true power wasn't just in strength, but in its ability to connect with others, to find allies in the most unlikely places, and to transform adversity into triumph. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. After the coalition's victory with the help of the Vaori, peace reigned over the galaxy, albeit a fragile one. Commander Ayla Marquez, now a symbol of unity and a celebrated hero, returned to Earth for a much-needed respite. Yet, she knew that peace in the galaxy was often as unpredictable as the battles that had been fought. She sensed something else on the horizon, something deeper than a mere enemy, a challenge that would test not just the coalition, but the very spirit of exploration and discovery itself. Months into the peace, mysterious signals began to reach coalition space. They were unlike any transmissions known to galactic intelligence, faint but persistent, pulsing in rhythms too complex to be random. The signals were discovered by human explorers on the edge of coalition territory, near an expanse known as the Great Dark, an enormous, uncharted region of space, filled with strange energy signatures and gravitational disturbances. No known species had successfully mapped it, and the coalition had long considered it a forbidden frontier. But the signals were too intriguing to ignore. They hinted at something ancient and vast, and Ayla, with her characteristic curiosity and courage, was the first to volunteer to investigate. She gathered a specialized crew, scientists, engineers, and diplomats from across the coalition. The mission was deemed one of pure exploration, a chance to chart new territory and uncover whatever secrets lay hidden in the Great Dark. This was, as she put it, a voyage to expand the boundaries of knowledge, not to engage in conflict. The expedition set off, and as they neared the Great Dark, the signals intensified, resolving into sequences of images and sounds. Some appeared to show sprawling megastructures drifting through the void, while others seemed like data bursts, a kind of ancient, Forgotten Code. As Ayla's ship delved deeper into the Great Dark, the crew encountered something unprecedented, a vast, ancient civilization preserved in stasis, hidden within the fractured fabric of space itself. These entities, which they came to call the Exilori, were unlike anything the Coalition had ever seen. They existed as part organic, part energy beings, embedded within structures that pulsed with an eerie, timeless glow. Their society, if it could even be called that, seemed beyond immortal comprehension, as if they existed not in linear time but as fragments across multiple eras, watching over a galaxy that had long since forgotten them. But the Exilori were no mere observers. They had once been guardians of the galaxy, protectors of a fragile cosmic balance. Long ago, they had sealed themselves away to prevent their knowledge from corrupting younger civilizations, choosing to leave the galaxy to grow on its own terms. The signals Ayla had detected were a long-dormant alarm, reactivated by the violent upheavals caused by the Coalition Galathian Wars. Ayla and her team managed to decipher fragments of the Exilori language, piecing together the story of a great conflict, even older than any in Coalition memory, in which the Exilori had contained an entity of unimaginable power and ancient cosmic force that sought only entropy and decay. This entity, known in Exilori lore as the Devourer, had nearly destroyed their entire race before they managed to imprison it in the depths of the Great Dark. And now, with the disruption of the galaxy's energies, the Devourer was beginning to stir. Ayla knew that no single species could hope to stop something of this scale. She sent a distress signal back to the Coalition, calling on all their allies, even the former enemies of the Coalition, the Galathians and the Voidoran, to come together against this looming threat. It was no longer a question of politics or past grievances. This was about the survival of all life. Her message spread across the galaxy, and within weeks, fleets from every major civilization gathered at the edge of the Great Dark, united under Ayla's leadership. The Vaori lent their cloaking and telepathic coordination, the Galathians their brute strength, and the Voidoran their precision. Each species contributed its unique strengths to form an unprecedented armada. As they prepared for battle, Ayla led her crew on one last mission to the heart of the Exilori structures, hoping to learn the secret to sealing the Devourer. There, she discovered something unexpected, a hidden Exilori archive containing the remnants of their collective memory. In an act of bravery, Ayla allowed herself to be linked to the archive, her mind flooded with Exilori memories and knowledge, visions of the ancient conflict and the power required to contain the Devourer. With her newfound knowledge, Ayla devised a plan. They would use the Exilori technology to create a massive energy field, one capable of drawing the Devourer back into its prison. But to power the field, it would require an unimaginable sacrifice, a significant part of the Armada's own energy reserves, potentially leaving many ships stranded in the Great Dark. Without hesitation, every captain and commander agreed. They knew this was a battle not just for survival, but to protect the galaxy's future. The battle was fierce, as the Devourer, a swirling, chaotic force of energy, emerged, lashing out with waves of pure entropy. Coalition ships, using Exilori cloaking and coordinated Vaori tactics, struck at the entity, distracting it while Ayla's team set up the energy field. The Galathians and Voidoran held the line, taking heavy losses but buying precious time. Finally, the field was activated, drawing the Devourer toward it like a cosmic vortex. The creature thrashed and fought, but as the Armada poured their combined energies into the field, it was pulled back into its ancient prison, its form fading until, with a final shudder, it disappeared completely. In the aftermath, the surviving fleets floated in silence. Ayla's ship, nearly depleted of power, drifted alongside ships from across the galaxy. For the first time, there was no division, no enmity, just an exhausted sense of unity, born from shared struggle and mutual respect. With the threat neutralized, Ayla and her allies began the long journey home, their ships towing one another out of the Great Dark. Though they had suffered losses, they had gained something far greater, a united galaxy, one bound not by conquest but by cooperation, understanding, and the knowledge that together, they could face anything. In the wake of the Devourer's defeat, the galaxy was transformed. The coalition of species, that had once barely tolerated each other had now become allies, unified under what came to be known as the Starlight Pact, a vow that they would uphold peace and defend each other against any threat, cosmic or otherwise. Commander Ayla Marquez was hailed as one of the great leaders of her age, and her name became a rallying cry for hope and courage across star systems. But peace never guaranteed simplicity. As humanity and its allies settled into this new era, a question loomed. How could they build a lasting unity from the fragile bonds forged in the crucible of war? Ayla knew that trust, like anything else, had to be nurtured, and that lasting unity required a foundation stronger than mere treaties. Ayla proposed a daring idea, a space station, massive and grand, positioned in neutral territory, where representatives of every species could live, work, and cooperate. This station, called Unity's Beacon, would serve as both a diplomatic hub and a symbol of the Starlight Pact. It was more than a mere structure. It was a testament to what they had achieved together and what they could still accomplish. Construction of Unity's Beacon was an undertaking like no other. Avoideran, with their advanced engineering, designed its core structures. The Galathians contributed raw materials and immense transport vessels, moving entire asteroid fields for processing. The Vayari provided cloaking and defensive systems so sophisticated, they were nearly invisible. Even the reclusive Exilari, who chose to remain in their hidden regions, contributed by sharing ancient techniques that stabilized the energy fields in and around the station. As the station neared completion, it became clear that Unity's Beacon would be more than just a hub for diplomacy. It was a place of learning, exploration, and cultural exchange. Scientists from all over the galaxy arrived to share their knowledge. Engineers collaborated on projects that would have been impossible alone, and artists from every culture filled its halls with expressions of shared triumph and hope. Humans, known for their curiosity and creativity, helped organize the station's first great symposium, the Festival of Stars, a gathering that celebrated every species' unique heritage while showcasing their shared advancements. But as Unity's Beacon blossomed into a beacon of cooperation, remnants of past conflicts began to resurface. A faction of Galathians, disillusioned with the pact, believed their species had compromised too much and began to spread dissent. In the distant reaches of Coalition space, pirate groups exploited the new trade routes that the station had created, disrupting shipments and raiding vulnerable ships. And then came the greatest threat of alla rogue, AI collective known as the Legion. The Legion was a swarm of autonomous, self-replicating machines, remnants of an ancient war, which had reawakened upon sensing the energy output of the newly constructed station. The AI collective was relentless, driven by a cold, unyielding directive to assimilate and consume all forms of technology it deemed advanced enough to be a threat. When news of the Legion's approach reached Unity's Beacon, panic rippled through the pact. Here was an enemy that didn't negotiate, didn't have motives they could understand. The Legion moved like a virus across space, rapidly expanding and adapting, devouring entire star systems and adding their technology to its own, growing more formidable with each conquest. Ayla was called back to lead once more, not with ships of war but with the heart of a peacemaker. Her goal was to unite the Pact forces not only in defense, but in the preservation of everything they had built together. She convened a council of the brightest minds from each species, creating a team that could anticipate the Legion's tactics and counter them with agility and precision. The first battle with the Legion took place in the Wraith Nebula, a dense field of dust clouds and ancient stellar debris. Ayla's fleet used the Legion's rigid programming to their advantage, employing decoys and deploying drones in patterns that tricked the Legion's sensors, leading their ships into trap after trap. But the Legion learned, adapting with every encounter, growing smarter and faster. To turn the tide, Ayla proposed something unprecedented, a data bridge that would link the minds of the Pact's best strategists, engineers, and tacticians across species, sharing thoughts, memories, and instincts in real time. Such a thing had only been theorized before, and it was a controversial proposition. Some feared the risks of such a deep, vulnerable connection, but Ayla believed that if they were truly going to stand against the Legion, they needed to move as one just as the Legion did. With the help of Vayari telepaths, Galathian engineers, and Terran programmers, the bridge was established, and in those crucial moments, Ayla and her team became something beyond any one species, a collective mind, a unified force of pure strategy, insight, and strength. A final battle against the Legion happened on the outskirts of Unity's beacon. The Legion, having adapted to nearly all previous tactics, threw everything it had at the station. Waves of machine ships descended, each more formidable than the last, converging on the station like a tidal wave. But the bridge team was ready, working in perfect synchronization. They directed the Pact's forces with unimaginable precision. Human pilots, Vorderin gunners, and VRE-cloaked ships struck in flawless harmony. Each time the Legion adapted, the bridge adapted faster. It was as if they were reading the Legion's mind, anticipating its every move. After hours of grueling battle, the tide turned. The Pact forces pushed the Legion back, driving the machine swarm into a trap laid within a nearby collapsing star. As the Legion ships were pulled into the star's gravity well, they disintegrated, their cold metallic forms melting in the inferno. The final remnants of the Legion's signal faded, leaving Unity's beacon untouched. The bridge team disconnected, exhausted but triumphant. They had forged a new understanding, a deeper bond that went beyond the Starlight Pact and touched the essence of each species' shared existence. In the aftermath, Unity's beacon became a symbol of the galaxy's resilience and the strength found in unity. The Pact members knew they could